Well, hello, beautiful artisans on YouTube. Welcome to Check It Out with Carmella-T. We have a really awesome video ahead of us today. I have a little set up here. Hopefully it stays set up. If I knock something over, wait for me. I'll be back. I wanted to be able to show you images and talk to you a little bit about inspiration on creating your village. With this video, before we go to the next video on stitching Kiwandi, stitching a Kiwandi house and getting into more detail on our village. That video actually on the Kiwandi house I will drop tomorrow. I will do that one tomorrow. So there won't be several days or whatnot. This video I'm putting in more to share my creative process. As you know, I love to and appreciate so much finding out where a certain idea started, or seeking out the historic information on whatever it is I'm thinking about, whether it's wildlife or houses or whatever it is. The eclipse, actually, we were just asked if any artist could do work on the eclipse. So I started to research that a little bit. But that is where I find a lot of inspiration. So I wanted to share with you. First, I start with just a few towns in Vermont, because Vermont is such an old state, and I know there's a lot of states that are really old also, and I'm just really familiar with Vermont. So I thought in looking at some images together, we can get ideas on shapes of buildings, detail on the buildings, the colors, the styles, the textures, you know, if you want texture, or if you want to emphasize a certain area. Let's say like this last little house we did, our Boro Sashiko, you know, maybe you decide you want to just do your visible stitching, a sashiko stitching for the windows and the windows and the door, or you use a certain patch for the windows and just kind of use your stitching to lay out the window panes, because some of the window panes I found in this research are window panes you wouldn't think to create necessarily, or at least a common type of window. So with that, I'm really excited about this, and we will get started. And so first of all, there's not a lot I found in the way that I could use on the World Atlas. However, there's a few villages that kind of just jump out at me. So first of all, the state of Vermont goes back to 1791. So a lot of the styles, including, if we even look at this, if you can see right here, this is a corner. Look at this building. This building is on the corner. And I don't know the architectural, and I'd love to learn some of the architecture's terminology. But if you look at, maybe it's cornerstone, but you look at this building, you see right on the corner, it's turning the corner. I mean, this is, in my opinion, this is unusual. Was the street there first, or was the building there first? But you see the front part of the building is flat, and then it's got the diagonal here, and then the next part. Now you come down here, and the windows are the same. They're staying right with the curve or the turning of this building. So and you look at the designs here. It's kind of linking like linking logs, only they're cement. So I find that very interesting. And this building over here, even though we can't see it really good, the top part of it kind of reminds me of this type of top that we did just recently. This is also Boro Sashiko. but a flat top. So that I find very interesting. That's more of a little town. Now this village, this is Montpelier. This is the town that you've been hearing a lot of in Vermont in the past year that has been flooded. Every time we get the heavy rains, and I think the tabletop has definitely moved up higher because so many towns that normally don't get flooded have got flooded this past year. But this is Montpelier, right smack in the middle of the state of Vermont. And you're seeing the backside here, this church. Really, this is the block where our state capital is located. But if you look, if you can see here, this almost looks like an Asian type building. It really does. However, I mean, it's adorable. If you look at this, it looks like a cupola, like a large cupola is built right up on top of this house. Now, in this area, in Montpelier over to Barrie, and I don't know about other towns, but particularly in these areas, if there's a hill and there's houses on that hill, the houses are almost built right up on top of each other. It's amazing. I've never seen anything quite like it. You know, I tell you what, I'll take a field trip this summer because I am going to be doing more villages. I know I'm not even done with this one, but seriously, I'm going to be doing more villages because and I'll go on a field trip down there and just kind of from a bird's eye view, you know, take some shots of just the layout of the houses, and it's because it's very interesting. So this is, if you look at this, let's see, we'll get this up a little higher. Here, this has 1, 2, 3 chimneys I can work out. Maybe there's another one there. It has a little fire escape coming down. I don't know if you're familiar with fire escapes, but in the cities they had a lot of fire escapes on apartment buildings coming down. You see them on Batman especially, you'll see. But this one is coming across the roof of the back part of the house here and then down. But the cupola is just precious because it's got columns here. So over here, this house next to it, and you see the roofs. The roof here, if you look at that roof, it's kind of, I want to say, like a hexagon. You kind of get a hexagon idea going on, but it's got 1, 2, 3, 4 chimneys. And these two are separate buildings right here. These two are connected, but these two are separate. But this particular, it has 4 chimneys. And if you look at the I don't want to be covering it here, but if you look at, let's see if I can use a pen. You look at the windows here, they're almost in the shape of their a house of their own. They've got the little peak coming up here on top of the window, and there's probably shutters there that we can't really work out. But yeah, the houses, these old buildings in Montpelier are just precious. And if you look at the layout of the village here, now I can tell you because I know the village, there are streets between these. This looks like it's all country and there's no roads. Believe me, there are roads all through here, but they're tiny little roads. And then you see all the trees. Something Vermont is working hard to do is to keep vegetation when they build buildings or do any kind of construction like that. So this is one particular Montpelier I wanted to show you and share that with you. And it's the capital of Vermont. It goes back to 1787. It has about 8,000 residents in it. Bennington just shows us a single building, and again, that was founded in 1749, and it has 15,000, so it's not too big either. Now, St. Johnsbury, This is more of kind of a little town you're looking at, but again, it gives us ideas because if you look, you can see the awnings, because you don't see these today. Typically, like this. These are old, and these buildings are super old, and St. Johnsbury is so quaint. It's really adorable. It's really very old. I mean, in the way of like it looks old, but some of the buildings are reconstructed. So that's St. Johnsbury, and so the buildings you see there go back to 1780s, and the St. Johnsbury Athenaeum is a library and art gallery and goes back to 1871. Now this is interesting, and the reason I'm showing this one is because Burke Mountain, if you look at this, many villages I'm noticing as I've done my research, they are located either on a slope of a mountain, within the mountain, climbing the mountain, or down below and kind of just on the flat area before you get to the mountain. And that's where you're going to find villages. So this is Burke Mountain up here. This is over 3,200 feet. It's very, very, very high. It's ski area. And then down here you have some of the village. Woodstock, if you look at Woodstock, most of the buildings in Woodstock are like this, like right here. And then smack in the middle of some of these buildings, they'll have a really super old colonial house. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful house. This is the town of Billings Farm, Billings Museum, Billings Mansion, and that is just breathtaking in itself. Okay, Manchester, they don't really give us a view there. And Warren, Warren is interesting because if you want to add a ski house to your village, Warren shows you a nice little ski slope. The one at Smuggler's Notch is very similar to this. Now, Smuggler's Notch has an adorable layout of Smuggler's Village. Smuggler's Notch Village. They have a village way down at the bottom of the mountain, and you can drive up the mountain to what they call Madonna's ski slope, a couple of different areas up there. But down at the bottom, it is like a fairy tale village. So you can look that one up. It's not on this list. I don't know why. And then the last one for Vermont I want to share with you is Stowe. Stowe Village, if you're interested, and I keep going back and forth on this. Do I want a layout or background on my village? And when I first started it, excuse me, I take some of the coffee. When I first started the village, I conveyed to you, I want to put these houses kind of real close to each other, on top of each other. And I was thinking in the back of my mind of Gloucester, Massachusetts, at the port. They have a village situated on, like so close to the water, but kind of like on a hill. It's precious. The houses are all different colors. They're practically sitting on top of each other. It's just amazing. But here in Stowe, really, I know Stowe. And so I'll tell you, things are spread out. It's an adorable layout. They have lots and lots of the original buildings. They keep them up pretty well. I don't know if we can see. The covered bridge is right here. That's it. This is, and next to that, right next to that is a store. Actually, there's a gas station on the other side. There's grocery stores here. This is an adorable town. You can walk through it, and when you do that, you'll see that's where the real inspiration comes in. So now what I'd like to do is, whoops, sorry about that. I'm keeping you all on track here. Is skip over to some really adorable villages I found. Now, this site, I figured I would go to a travel site because that's something that is, they're going to show us things that are inspirational for sure, because they want you to go. And I got to tell you, after I went through this site, this is called Timeout, and timeout.com, but they give you places you can go get dinner, you can take your vacay, they give you travel packages. I will seriously be reviewing this. I mean, if ever I could go somewhere, this is the kind of place I'd like to go. We'll see. But anyway, so this gives us this picture right off the bat. These are stone cottages. And if you look closely, I'll get my pen back, my nifty pen. If you look closely at these stone cottages, you see they've got to be very, very, very close to each other. They have teeny tiny little windows right here in obscure places that's not even centered. That's just adorable. They have chimneys. Look at the chimneys. They all have one big chimney. These are the doors are kind of they're underneath an A-frame. You have the little walk that goes to the doors. And look at this tiny little bench here. This makes me want to make fairy houses. Now, I've done stone artwork, and I always wanted to make a little stone fairy house with a little stone wall. And so I'll probably end up going from the fabric to the stone. But if you look closely, so the color of these, the roofs are naturally a darker gray, and then you have this light gray, and then you have different hues, because it's aged. I just love this. You even have moss up on the roof. If you look closely, there is moss on these roofs. So they are keeping these stone cottages up in a pristine manner. The moss certainly doesn't hurt it. It just adds to the decor. So let's see here. So yeah, that sold me. I'll be probably trying to get to London myself. So now here's more stone cottages, and then they have the bridge with the stone wall. You see the stone wall here. The grass is pretty grown up a little there. I'd want to be putting flowers in those stone cottages. So that is Bibberry or Byberry, Gloucestershire, London, and these cottages go back to the 14th century. So they were converted into weavers, that cute, weavers' cottages about 300 years later, and now they're all privately owned. How adorable. So this town, this is Wiltshire, I guess Castlecombe, Wiltshire. Now this is a particular interest to me because it presents to me some challenging angles. And I think that's the next step for my growth, is in creating my fabric. Now I can draw this, no problem. But when you create, and you want to create depth or angles with fabric, it's, to me, a little challenging, and it's a different perspective altogether. So these are all A-frames. We're seeing the A-frame here. The other thing I noticed for shapes, okay, we have the arches here in the little river with the little bridge there. More stone walks and walls. Over here, this jumps out at me, are the windows. The windows are three. You have 3 windows in a bay here, and then down below that, you have two paneled. You have, I'm sorry, 6 paneled window. You have a 6 paneled window. So I find that design just precious. And then you have, look, the stone wall is jetting out into the street. So the stone wall was probably built at that time. Maybe it was a farm. There was certainly no road there. We have this same thing going on in Vermont. You think you're going to go to the right, and all of a sudden it jets like on an angle over to the left. And they're fixing these roads more and more. However, that's because there was a need for a road at that time. They needed to get it in. They put it in, and they didn't have necessarily maybe the room or the space or whatever, or maybe vegetation or water was in the way. They couldn't get the curve the way they wanted it. So now with this particular picture also, the reason why this is just adorable, the street is contemporary. Okay, so the wall jets out. That's unusual. And if you look closely and you just keep looking at this photo, you see iron works of iron here on the stone wall or bridge, and that's artistically designed, but it's there. Maybe it's some kind of gate that pulls out or goes down into the water. I don't know. And then you have the layers of the terrain up in the back. So, Wiltshire, here I come. I would love to see that in person. Okay, so here's some Tudor designs. We've all seen Tudor homes. However, these Tudor homes in Shelham, if that's how you say it, Kent, look at the detail on these Tudor homes. I mean, just look at the detail. And look, there's flowers, right? A row of flowers right outside the window, right below the windows. Up here, the chimneys are exceptional in that they are have their almost like cupola. I guess I say cupolas. It's not really the right name, but it kind of looks like that because they have the little frame sitting above the chimney. So, but if you look at the designs here, you have X's predominantly, you have triangles. Do these mean anything? I am not sure. Or are they just a design? But look at the windows encased right there. And there's not a lot of windows here unless these are shutters. If those are shutters, you would never know it. That could be behind the design. Maybe it was to create an obscurity of such. So you wouldn't know where the windows are. You wouldn't know necessarily where the door is. Who knows? But that would be ingenious, to tell you the truth. And then you have the iron gate that just kind of flows with the design of the house. So let's see if they give us any info. These elegant houses and ancient timber framed homes. The whole place is peppered with perfectly preserved listed buildings. Oh, they're listed, so they're for sale. None as impressive as Chelham Castle. The current manor house falls from 1616, but there's been a fort on the spot since the 12th century. I'm not sure what that means, except I thought we were looking at a number of houses here, but this is saying it's a castle. So it's probably part of a castle then. Now, okay, this just totally takes my breath away. I mean, it really does. I mean, look at this bike over here. And if the bike isn't an antique, I don't know what is. The lamp is antique-ish. It looks like it has electricity in it. It could have fire in it. This is the ivy climbing up the side of the house. That's a marvelous idea to design your village houses. I'm jumping around in my mind with ideas. I'm thinking I want to build, after I do my fabric house, I'm thinking I could use yarn to create kind of a vine type with little buds, you know, red or something that jumps out, red, white, pink, flowers that jump out of the vine. How adorable would that be? So, you know, and I have something here actually. This was kind of giving me an idea. This is a very shiny piece. The camera does not do this justice, but it's a very beautiful shiny piece of ribbon. And how adorable would that be? Kind of, you know, you just kind of mess around with it a little. Like you could put it as an awning, you know, or just kind of have it on the edge of your work, or you can manipulate it to some kind of a climbing vine and put flowers on it. But that's a really, really adorable idea. And if we look closely here, look, we could even use lettering and put some detail in. This says bakery, and it's using Old English font. So how adorable is that, with the little bike in front of it and the little signs, the little bench. You can make all of these out of fabric. I mean, and you figure if you use wool, you use wool textured, like sweaters, knit, crocheted pieces. You use fleece, or you use even embroidered pieces. I mean, you could probably even find a kitchen towel that says bakery on it. Or you can cut the lettering out and sashiko stitch it to your village. Just really cute. If you're into mixed media art, you can use, then that just broadens your whole range of what you can use for decor. And look, even the door. Look at the door right there. How adorable is that? And the door is lined with blue. It looks like a mahogany door to me, lined with blue. That's just precious. I mean, you know, I could look at this for hours. And if you look at the windows are different, but that adds to the humble effect of this. They must have put in this. I bet you these were doors up here with a porch. And because they're big, big windows compared to the little windows. And then you have, these are bay windows. So how adorable is that? But I definitely want flowers in my village. So I will be looking for ways to add the flowers. So this is just like a side street. And again, that's really cutesy to look at. Those are Tudor buildings again, super duper old. It gives you a really good idea of the artistry. I mean, this is art in itself, right? The architecture, it's art in itself. But you look at the arched door and all the original panel of wood, 1, 2, 3, 4, 4x6s or whatever they are, 4x12s. And that's in Suffolk, London, England. This is Sussex. Here's some flowers with the trellis, so you can make little trellises out of twine. You know, and for my village, I want to play around with colors. Like, I don't want all of my colors to be mixed. I want to put some that are solid, because I want to be able to have flowers and trellises. Look at that trellis. That's adorable. So this particular village, you know, it's going down on a slope there. You see stairs. You can add stairs to your houses, porches, play around with the angles. There are YouTubers out there who will teach you how to cut out a house and the angles and all of it. Here's a little lamp, a street lamp coming on a little curve there. And so this is a porch with all the vegetation, and then you have the little stone wall. This is definitely a cobble street. So, and the thing I notice in this village is the perspective. So you have all the way out there, more of the village going up on a mountain, and then you have the roofs all different shapes: A-frame, slant, octagon, sloping. It's all there. Gorgeous. So here is this is Dorset, London. And this is very interesting. Whoops, sorry. This is very interesting to me right here. This roof is, I don't know what that roof is, to tell you the truth. If you look at it, it's wavy. And I gotta tell you, I've never seen a fence like this. This is just a post. I mean, we do have wooden posts here, yes, in Vermont, but these are cut out in a particular way, and then oh, I see yeah, it looks like they're attached with a strong rope. With this house, look at this house. This is this is two buildings built right next to each other, and that's why you have the two chimneys. I don't know what that roof is. Maybe it will tell us. Shaftesbury, Dorset. Okay, it's basically the same as it was in Thomas Hardy's day, so you're guaranteed to feel the character of the Victorian novel. Okay, on your way up Gold Hill. This is a very steep street with listed cottages. Oh, they're listed. Okay, and cottages on one side and the walls of the ancient Shaftesbury Abbey on the other, and is the most picturesque street on the planet. I agree with them because I've never seen a roof like that. So what do you think that roof is? So this one looks like tiny little bricks, possibly stone type material. This must be some kind of stone, but I have not a clue what it is. So let me know what you think it is. They don't tell us what it is. We'll have to go there and find out. Whoever goes there first to Dorset, let the rest of us know. Or maybe you're in Dorset. Let us know. So this is, if I'm saying it correctly, it's Surrey, Share, Surrey. So this is you're coming into the village. I love that. I love that. I love roads that curve. I did a lot of paintings maybe 20 years ago of my kids walking up the curved road because we lived on a curved dirt road. And I just love the curves. So much you can do because the wider, you make them wider, then you're closer to the front of them. What's ever larger in the front of your picture, make it smaller going in the back and kind of put some detail back there. But look at these. These houses have lots of vegetation here. Some flowers in a garden sitting in a high part. That's adorable. Up on the stone or field stone wall. And then this slope. These houses, I want to use the word kind of wacky wonky. I want to use that word because I'm looking at the roofs and I can see them. I never knew. I know I have made houses like that, like drawn whimsical pictures of houses like that, but I've never seen them in real life. So that is just amazing. Let's see here. Okay. So, yeah, it says it right here. Surrey Village is like being in another dimension. It's been around the Yonks, appearing on Doomsday Book of 1086, and it boasts a clutch of ancient listed buildings. Potter around and feed the ducks and do a little shopping. That's adorable. And here's an idea. I don't know if you can see, but way back here, there's arched windows. The whole, let's see, oh yeah, those bottom two, I think these are all arched windows, and then you have a vegetation on each side of the door. So way back when, people did take time to decorate their entrances as they welcome people into their homes. This is not really a village. It looks more contemporary, A-frame. Okay, and I think this might bring us to the end. Yeah, that brings us to the end. And so with that, I welcome your comments. I am so curious. What kind of village are you going to build? What kind of village inspires you? What type of house? Is it the wonky? Is it the A-frame? Is it the perfect little picture house? Is it the rustic stone field house, stone cottage? I would totally love to know. And so with that, I will see you in the next one. I plan on doing the Kiwandi stitching, bringing you straight through with me on that in real time. We'll do that together. So you have a beautiful, amazing day.